Are we good to start? Yeah. All right. Good morning, everyone. How's the Josh?
Hi, sir.
Hi, sir.
Very good.
So welcome everyone to this Golden Jubilee meeting number 50 of Mumbai Speakers Toastmasters Club. I am Vishal Mehta, your Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. I would like to begin by stating the mission of a Toastmasters Club. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Now, I would like to mention the 3 ground rules that we follow in Toastmasters meeting. First, kindly switch off or put your phone in the silent mode. Second, refrain from talking about the 3 taboo topics: politics, religion, and sex. Third, please do not crosstalk while in the meeting. Now, since we are in this online Zoom meeting environment, there are a few instructions that we need to follow. All the speakers and role bearers are requested to prefix their role to their name so that it's easy to identify them. All speakers are requested to do a quick audio and video check before they start their speech. Request the speakers to also confirm that they can see the timer cards before starting the speech. I would request you not to type in the chat box when a speaker is speaking, as it disturbs the speaker. You can use the private chat to provide any feedback. Do not click on share screen button unless your speech or role requires you to do so. You can display a high five or a namaste when taking over or leaving from a role. You can connect with me or our Zoom master for any technical glitches during this meeting. This meeting is being recorded. In case you have any reservations on your speech being recorded, please let us know and we will pause the recording. There are a couple of ways of giving applauses. If your video is on, you can clap like this, or you can use the reaction button on your Zoom screen. Today, we are celebrating our Golden Jubilee meeting, and we have a great session lined up today. So let's get started. It's my privilege and pleasure to welcome the presiding officer of the day. She is one of the pillars of our club and has given us such a strong foundation. With thunderous applause, let us welcome the president of the club and the presiding officer for the meeting, Toastmaster Sudha Warrior. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster Sudha.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Vishal Mehta, for that elaborate opening and introduction. So let me continue the line again. How's the Josh?
Hi, ma'am.
Hi, ma'am.
Yeah, that's the way.
50.
So, sorry. Hello.
Josie's 50. Josie's 50.
It's only 50? Okay, we'll make it 100 very soon. Don't worry. Great. So today is obviously the Golden Jubilee. When we talk about the Golden Jubilee celebrations, we talk about an anniversary. And when we talk about anniversary, then we talk about why we remember this particular moment. And the theme of the meeting goes along the same lines. Remember the first day of the first year or the first time in your life you started your journey to getting, blowing a candle maybe? Or maybe remember holding back the tears on those days when you just wanted to be home, to feel safe again. Or maybe remember to never lose touch with those friends who've made your life so enjoyable. Anytime you connect with them, you remember all the memories that you've shared with them. Remember the beautiful drops of rain when you're walking on the road and you just are excited to think about the smell of the first rain falling on the mud, on the dry mud. It's coming very soon. But before that, we have to actually endure the heat of Mumbai as well. So all these beautiful things are memories. What are we without memories? Nothing, isn't it? When we live our life on a daily basis, we are creating those memories. And again, on the same lines, we have a very apt person to take us through this journey, because it is the Golden Jubilee of Mumbai Speakers Toastmasters Club. Mumbai Speakers Toastmasters Club was started in January 2021. And I used to be, I heard about the christening of this club from a common person who was in my club then, which was Babu sir. And we were connected, and I used to go for a lot of guest roles in this particular club for meetings. And that's how I found the energy here, created by certain people, were amazing. And then I made some choices, and I'm here as a part of the Mumbai Speakers. So to take us through this journey is a wonderful person, a very vivacious, a person who is always, I've seen her thinking outside the box most of the time in the meetings. And even her box today speaks about a lot of things, how happy she is today to be amidst us. So she is a person who is a writing enthusiast who goes under the name of Mystic Mona on terribly tiny tales, an avid blogger, and loves the stage. You can see that, Manisha. She has worn many hats in JPMC, Malad TMC, and also been associated with the Mumbai Speakers Club. Loves doing things differently, and a favorite quote is, "To wish you were someone else is to waste the person you actually are." She manages the settlements middle office team at JP Morgan. Her dreams to be the site head of Mumbai and also have the courage to try out bungee jumping. And her family is a close-knit family of three: mom, dad, and me. So let us all put our hands together to welcome this wonderful person, our ex-president of Mumbai Speakers Toastmaster Club, Toastmaster Manisha Mishra.
With all the wonderful introduction and wonderful adjectives that were added against my name, I'm shy. Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Sudha, for that very heartwarming introduction. It just says hashtag no pressure, be yourself. So we are all promised a journey, and all of you saw what was posted against the Toastmaster poster for the meeting today. And as we embark on one, there are hurdles, there are wins, some unexpected gains, some dramatic turns that come in the way. As a result, sometimes the view is beautiful, and sometimes the climb is really hard and exhausting. But it's said that the most breathtaking view comes after the hardest climb. So let's look back one final time to look forward together, because there are far better things ahead than any we will leave behind. For me, the journey with Mumbai Speakers started with a wrong WhatsApp text. And I'm sure not many people know about this. I was looking for Aaron Almeida, and I happened to text Aaron Colasso. After a brief chat, he happened to mention about a certain club they were looking to form. At his behest, and after a lot of no, I'm busy, sorry, apologies, I joined one of the pre-charter meetings. And well, who could refuse Babu sir and Pankaj's relentless efforts to have you on board? I was humbled at being considered as the president-elect, but I was dead scared because it was a responsibility that I was going to assume. And I wanted to do right by the members and right by the people who chose me as the president-elect. I must say, it was an enriching experience. Being a part of the corporate club at JP Morgan Toastmasters, there were a lot of restrictions that we faced with regards to the PR. Here, it was like a blank canvas. All you had to do is follow the Toastmaster guidelines. I was like a kid running wild in the forest, given a blank canvas and some sketch pens. Go draw, go do what you want to do. The amount of freedom I got was exhilarating, but the amount of faith that Babu sir, Aaron, Pankaj, all these people had in me helped me take that deliberate pause from time to time to see whether or not we were fitting the bill in most of the criteria that were listed. I learned so much from a community club, and I was able to apply that learning forward and you won't believe this, I applied so many learnings in my team when I was trying to manage some kind of conflicts. So Toastmasters indeed gives you that kind of exposure. Today, when I talk about our team's progress in the town halls, people actually listen, they don't yawn. And that is thanks to Toastmasters. I'm very grateful to all those souls who kept Manisha Mishra in their mind when they were forming the Mumbai Speakers Club. And thank you so much for doing that. That said, for today's meeting, we have an army. And the army consists of timer, R-counter, grammarian. All these people are going to take your experience in Toastmasters from here to here. As Harvey Specter from Suits rightly said, life is like this, but we at Toastmasters like this. So with that, I'd like to call on the timer. Timer, over to you. Toastmaster Urmila, are you there?
Yes. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guest. So as a timer, I will be helping the speakers their thoughts within the allotted time limits. My duty is to time prepared speech or table topic speeches or speech evaluation during the meeting. Let me share my screen. My screen is visible?
Yes.
Yes.
I will show green card. A green card indicates qualifying time. Yellow card indicates target time. Red card indicates maximum time allotted. For prepared speeches, I will show green card at 5 minutes, yellow card at 6 minutes, red card at 7 minutes. We have a grace period of 30 seconds on either side of the time limit. Your greatest resource is your time. So be watchful while delivering your speech. I will present my report once called upon by Toastmaster of the day. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Urmila. Very rightly said that time is the greatest resource that we have. Let's use it wisely when we are delivering our speeches. Next up is the general, that is the R counter. Please be wary of this particular Toastmaster, because this particular Toastmaster will record everything that is not going right in your speech. Over to you, R counter, Toastmaster Karthik.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manisha. A welcome fellow Toastmaster and dear guest. My role as a R counter is to record unnecessary sounds used by the speaker and road barriers. Those ums and ahs are called disfluency because they break the fluency or smooth flow of speech. In a situation where you are the focus of everyone's attention, either formal or informal, the disfluency weakens what you have to say. The presence sends the signal to the audience that you may be feeling anxious. You don't feel comfortable being looked at or having people waiting for what you have to say. And sure, not completely confident about what you have to share for number of what could be perfectly valid reasons. Regardless of underlying causes and excess of disfluency or fillers undetermine your message. But don't worry, I'm here to make you aware of the unaware. I will present the R counter report when called upon by the general evaluator at the end of the meeting. To you, Toastmaster Manisha. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karthik. Next up, we have the Grammar Nazi. And before I call on the Grammar Nazi, I'm already having sweaty palms because this person is another Toastmaster that you should be wary of. He's going to record all your not so good usage of grammar. Over to you, Toastmaster Sudha.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Actually, it's not so scary. It's just about being, you're the grammarian is actually the conscience of the English language. And in Toastmasters, generally the grammarian exhibits that role of being the conscience to make sure that we use the right English and the incorrect usage of grammar is highlighted so that we can improve on our speeches in the future. So shall I introduce the word of the day as well? Yeah, okay. So today, being very apt for the occasion, the word of the day today is reminiscence. Reminiscence is the noun as reminiscence, the plural being reminiscences, and similar words are memories, recollections, reflections, remembrances, memoirs. The word usage would be a story told about a past event remembered by the narrator, his reminiscence of his early days as a cricketer, characteristic of one thing that is suggestive of another. His first works are too full of reminiscences of earlier poetry. So it can be also a comparison. And this particular word's origin is from the late 16th century, from late Latin word called reminiscentia, from Latin reminisci, which is remember. So with that, I encourage everyone to use the word reminiscence as much as possible in your speeches, table topics, and of course, the Toastmaster of the day. So with that, I hand it over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sudha. For the benefit of everybody attending the meeting today, let me quickly brief you on how the meeting is going to be structured. We are going to have prepared speeches, post which we will have a table topics round. Table topics round is an impromptu segment where the members are called upon and the topics are given on the spot. So you have to think on your feet, and these are very short speeches that you have to give on the spot. Post the table topics segment is over, we will call on the general evaluator for the day, who's going to give a general evaluation of the meeting. Also call upon the speech evaluators who will evaluate the speeches. After that, we will close the meeting with the presiding officer address. This is the typical structure of the meeting that we will follow today. But before I open the segment to the prepared speeches, I want to go through some of the memoirs, the old people of Mumbai speakers who've been instrumental in setting up Mumbai Speakers Club to come on the virtual stage and share their thoughts. Babu sir, I'd like to invite you, and there's a particular question that I want to ask. How easy or difficult was it to persuade the prospective members?
You only want me to answer that question, or you want me to, or you will allow me on a long leash to go down memory lane?
Please, followed by going down the memory lane.
I know I can see at least one pair of eyes looking at me very strongly. She says, we don't allow Babu sir to do that, because when he goes there, he doesn't come back. Anyway, I'll make it crisp and short. Yeah, let me answer that with just kindling a few memories. First of all, it's so difficult for me to even think of any word, any appropriate word to describe this entire journey. If I say it was exciting, it was scintillating and exhilarating and all that, I think all these words just pale into significance if you look at the sum total of all the emotions and feelings that I went through, in particular in the chartering of the club. A small instance here, how the seeds were really sown. It was when I was on a small journey in a local train coming back from Vasai. And it took almost, I think, an hour for me to reach Villeparle station. And that set me thinking, because I've been a member of Bombay Toastmasters Club. And quite a few of the Toastmasters used to come from Vasai, Virar and Dahisar. And for me, it was a hop, step and jump, literally, going to our home club. And I used to literally feel guilty. I said, hey, listen, Babu, you can't have it like this, where you just walk into the club and then go back for your dinner on time. And, just imagine all of them making such long journeys. It's a long journey, in fact. And I used to think, I said, why didn't Toastmaster think of a club somewhere there? And of course, at that time, I was not really in, like they say, the position of power to do anything. And so when, as an area director, when our great DTM Aaron said, it's time for all the ADs to start charter clubs, I said, hey, now I've got the opportunity. And the first thing you will not believe, I told him, we're going to start a club, and that's going to be somewhere on the Western Line in Borivali. So that's how the seeds of this particular club was sown. And I must say, I think since then there's been absolutely no looking back. But yes, to answer your question, of course, like you said, the view was very nice from the top. But when you take the plunge, you know that, well, the depth is not what you had estimated. And I realized that probably I should have done bungee jumping and not just taken a free dive. And there I was looking deep down, not knowing where the end of the valley would be. But yes, it was tough, I must say. And we did manage. I remember spending a lot of time, I think, in my working hours connecting with people. And like you said, it was really a tough time to get people like Manisha Mishra and Joy De Silva and many of those, to be, because I was asked very searching questions. You haven't started the club. Where is it going to be? And 101 questions. And but anyway, I think we crossed the Rubicon, so to speak. And in fact, the one thing I must tell you that I did manage. Of course, here I must also recognize the fantastic efforts of my partner in crime, Pankaj. In fact, but for him, I don't think I would have gone very much further, because while I was taking care of the membership and talking to guests and the rest of it, I was at peace because he took care of all the back end effort of organizing for the sessions, role players, and all that. And of course, we always had the father figure of DTM Aaron, who looked at us like a proud father, seeing his two boys working hard at getting the club chartered. So I think it was more than anything else an enjoyable and a fun effort, I would say. We really looked forward. We wanted to do this club, and I think that's how it came through. But to answer the question again, yes, the first few members, up to maybe 15 or 16, we did manage to get, but crossing that last hurdle of the 18th, 19th, and the 20th member, I think that really took quite a few weeks. But anyway, all's well that ends well, they say. And we really were very happy to finally have chartered this club. If I'm not mistaken, the date was 1st January 2021. Yes. So yeah. So weeks have gone by, and it's so nice to be here on the 50th meeting with a mystic Mona looking at us and being part of this session. Wonderful. And of course, we have Aaron here. Pankaj couldn't make it, but I'm so happy that most of our charter members are here, and we've been able to invite quite a few of them who are here. And I do hope and wish everyone all the best. And let's look forward, like your theme says, of what is to come in the next 50 weeks or so. So all the best to everyone, and nice to see such smiling faces here. So back to you, Manisha.
Thank you, Toastmaster Babu. So well said. And while we are reminiscing of all the time that we spent to charter this wonderful club and to bring it into a structure, shape, and form, I do recollect some of the hilarious conversations that I had with Pankaj. And I was so fortunate that he did not block me, because I would, every time the conversation used to start with "Good morning, Manisha," and the conversation you would not end until my login time, which is generally 12:30 or 1:30. So that's how long that you can just imagine in your head how long I would pester him with stuff that I was stuck with. stuff that I could not understand, stuff that we should be doing and we can't do. I don't know how to start, where to start. We had a lot of handholding that we got from Babu sir and Toastmaster Pankaj. But there was certainly one DTM, Toastmaster Aaron. I wanted to invite him as well. And I have a question for you, Toastmaster Aaron. My question is, what were some of the telling factors that made you into the making of Mumbai Speakers, that got you into the making of Mumbai Speakers?
Thanks, Manisha. And I'm really happy to be here present today. Time has gone so fast. It's the 50th meeting. And it's wonderful to see so many familiar faces. When we began the journey, they are there, and so many new people and everything that the club has been doing. So I'm really happy, and it's a nice atmosphere to be here. And I think if we could have met in person, and things will be better, maybe for the 100th meeting, it'll be a great joy to come and meet everyone and have a nice meeting. But okay, so like I would say that when we were starting, we didn't know exactly what is going to happen. I just knew that there were two people who were always there by my side, Babu and Pankaj, and they had the same passion like me, that yes, we have to have something for the people, especially coming from the north side of Mumbai, so that they don't have to travel a lot, and something at Borivali, because there is nothing in this entire line. And with that same thing, we started reaching out to many people. Initially, our first meeting, in fact, was such we felt it was such a successful meeting. There were nearly 8 or 9 people, Toastmasters, who we knew, and they all were so excited that yes, we will be part of this and let's start the club. But the second meeting, it was just Babu, Pankaj, and me. No one else turned up, and it was completely different. But since then, our approach changed. We started speaking to people one on one. I remember one of the conversations, I don't know, all of a sudden there was some discussion that I was having with you, Manisha. You had won something, or somewhere, and you were telling me that I want to look to join a community club. And I took that as okay, I can maybe start approaching Manisha. And then I told you, and it was so nice that even though there was nothing here, you could have chosen to be at any of the other established clubs, but you said yes, let's do this together. And you were always there. And I think if it hadn't been for the effort of Babu and Pankaj, we wouldn't have been able to start this club. The amount of dedication that they had, each and every day our discussions would be reaching to new members, explaining to them. And I feel it was trust of people, because there are so many clubs, and here there is something that is not even established, right? There are no papers signed, nothing. We didn't even have a name. We used to call it as Borivali Toastmasters that time in our discussions. And people trusted us. I remember one conversation we had with Joy once. Joy was saying that, I don't want to be an EXCOM member. It's fine. And, Babu should speak to him. And one day, even I got on a call with him, and Babu, Joy, and me, we started discussing, and we managed to convince him. And since then, I've seen, the things that he's been doing. I feel that, mainly it is the trust of people, because it was so nice that Toastmasters were already there. They supported us, even though there was nothing, for them to get. They should just come and help us in the meeting. Similarly, many new people, they said yes. And even though it took time to start the club, they used to attend and started playing roles even without being Toastmasters. And it was a nice experience. A very important lesson that I learned is, even now when I speak to Babu, as he said that time, he was having that power as an area director to start the club. But even now I see he has got much more power, because he has this club. It's very special for him. He keeps on telling me that this is a club that we started, and we have to ensure that it's going good. And when there were challenges, he started reaching out to people. He spoke to he spoke to Deep, he spoke to Sudha, and he got them here. And now they have been ensuring that things are going good. So that's what I learned from him, that even though you are in power, you're not in power, you are a district officer, whatever you're doing, still he's so excited. He was telling me so much excitement that we're going to have an in-person XCOM meeting. And I'm sure even for his BTM meetings, he may not be that excited. Oh, we are going to have an in-person meeting, but here he was so excited. So I think I've learned this from Babu to just speak, because Manisha would have thought I would tell in one sentence, but here I've delivered a prepared speech, sort of. But I would say that this is a very special club for us. It's the very first club that we started. Even to get the name Mumbai Speakers, we've had so much of deliberations, and we used to think that how would people come to know about this club, and when they do a Google search, what will be the hit, how it will be, and lots of effort has been put. And I think we'll always cherish this as to any club, even my home club. More than that, this has a soft corner, because this is something that we got together and we've built it, and now it's going so well with the XCOM supporting, and it's so nice. I'm really happy to be here. And once again, thanks Babu. I think if hadn't it been you and Pankaj holding the fort, it wouldn't have been accomplished. And still, you're not leaving it. Everyone is coming, you're still holding and saying, no, this is my club, it has to go to greater heights. So it's a wonderful journey. I'm really happy. And thank you for inviting me, Sudha, Babu. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aaron. That certainly sent me down the memory lane with some of the conversations we had just to arrive at Mumbai Speakers. Initially it was Mumbai North, then it came down to Borivali Toastmasters Club, and then we were not convinced about it. We said Mumbai Speakers. Then someone had an opposing view amidst us saying, what if people think this is something to do with speakers and renting out speakers? We had a lot of deliberation about that. Some hilarious comments that we just thought about loud. But I think Mumbai Speakers fits the bill just fine. And we will invite the other, the way I'd like to call them is the Yester Toastmasters of Mumbai Speakers in a bit. But before that, we have two wonderful speeches prepared. And for the first speech, for the first prepared speech, let me call on the speech evaluator, Toastmaster Raghav, to read out the speech objectives for Toastmaster Mehak. Toastmaster Raghav, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster of the day. My speaker, Toastmaster Mehak, will make her speech on Level 1, Project P3 of Persuasive Speaking Pathway. The speech time is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Toastmaster Mehak, and over to you, TMoD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghav. Toastmaster Mehak, Ithar, Toastmaster Mehak.
You can hear me?
Yes, we can. Are you able to see the timer screens?
Yes, but the problem is if I start sharing, then I would not be able to see her screen.
Can the timer put the screen as your virtual background?
Sure, I'll do that. Urmila, you can stop presenting.
What can you see on my screen before you start the time?
We can see your desktop.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm ready. Huh?
Are you able to? Yeah, are you able to see Deep's screen?
No.
Can you see the colors on? Can you pin Deep?
Yeah. No.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Yes, I can see. Far, far away, there's a land called Ithar. On this planet, you have lovely waterfalls, huge trees, huge land, huge water bodies. But on this planet, there is life. There are so many creatures, beautiful creatures, and there's one special species. Can anybody guess the most intelligent species which can be there on this planet Ithar?
Human.
No, correct. Human beings. So this is a story about a small little boy and a tree. So this boy, he was around 7 or 8 years old, and he goes up to this mango tree, which was his best friend. And he goes up to him, and his entire childhood he spends with that tree, eating off mangoes, climbing that big huge trunk, playing swinging off the branches. And he used to sleep and he used to nap under the tree whenever he required it. The tree provided everything for that little child. He was content, he was happy, and that made the tree happy. But as the boy grew up, as he became a teenager, as he reached the age of 21, there was a greed that came on to him, with the materialistic greed that we all get, where I want money and not happiness. So he goes up to the tree again at the age of 24 and asks the tree, Tree, I am not happy. I want money. The tree says, you can take off all the mangoes from my branches and sell it. That will give you money, and that will make me happy because you will be happy. The boy, he takes all the mangoes, sells it off, and walks away. After a few years, the boy comes up again. Now he is almost 30, and he comes and tells the tree, Tree, I want to start a family, but I don't have a home. I need to build a home, but I don't have the money. What do I do? I want this home because I want to be happy. The tree says, you can cut off my branches. You make a home out of that, and that will make you happy, which will make me happy. The boy cuts the branches off and walks away without a backward glance. A few years later, when the boy turned 30, and today I'm not happy. I'm done with my life. Just whatever last years I had. I want to sail off into the sea. I need a boat. I don't have the money. How will I get a boat? The tree says, you can cut off my trunk, be converted into a boat. That will make you happy and make me happy. The boy cuts the trunk, makes it into a boat, and sails off. He comes back a few years later when he can't walk, he can't really speak, he can't really chew because there are no teeth. And he comes and tells the tree, Tree, I want to be happy. I really have no happiness left. What do I do? The tree says, I have no mangoes. I have no branches that I can give you for a home. I have no trunk anymore left. I just am a little stump with that are buried down deep. So maybe you can just sit and enjoy. What are we doing? I mean, we are taking advantage of nature every day. This, I'm pretty sure most of y'all have heard the story. It's called The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. It's a very famous story where the tree has shown more kindness, and the boy doesn't have the boy does not show any kind of emotion when the tree is giving out all of whatever the tree has. Where did our kindness, where did we lack, where did we lose, when did we lose the connection between ourselves and nature? We already know our ancestors that they feared nature, they feared lightning, they feared thunder, they feared the sea. They couldn't go out on the sea. That slowly changed as we evolved, as we became more intelligent, as we started thinking more, as we discovered more of ourselves. Where did it actually start? And why are we still lacking? Why can't we show more kindness anymore? It was by the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution was the age where mankind started building up machines and all the handmade stuff. this was the era where more huge scale, large scale manufacturing was done in streets. And this led to pollution. Pollution caused deforestation, air pollution, water pollution, land pollution, health diseases. We all know it. The list is never ending. But what we keep seeing, what we always need to remember, that there is no earth and us. There's no earth and us because we are all one. Ether and the earth is actually ether. We are all one. This is what we need to remember. This is what we need to understand. This is the Miti River, and Borivali, the Daisa station is very close to my house. I come and go and cross this bridge right there. If you can see the bridge behind, that's the bridge I cross from the station to my place. And while crossing, I look at the river every day. It was a beautiful river before. And when I was in school, we had this river march where we completed an entire march around the river, spreading out chants saying that save the river, save the river. But people don't take the steps. Where are we lacking? What are we doing wrong? The river spoke out to me and said, please help me. And I said, yes, I will help you because, come on, face it, I'm a youth. I'm an upcoming engineer. And I want to do something for this world. I want to be able to make this world a better place. So I said, I will give 15 minutes of my time from my daily life to you, river, thinking and brainstorming on how I can build a design on how to help you. This is what I have planned. What would you do? Thank you.
Wow, Toastmaster Mehak, thank you so much for that wonderful speech and that good food for thought you gave us. Certainly helps us do some thinking. Next time when we litter about or just throw that wrapper so callously on the street. So thank you for sharing that perspective. For our next speech, I'd like to call on the speech evaluator, Toastmaster Babu, to read out the speech objectives for Toastmaster Deep. Over to you, Toastmaster Babu.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and our speaker, Toastmaster Deep Shah in particular. Today, Toastmaster Deep is going to share with us some aspects of a past or a future negotiations from the various types of negotiations that he has perhaps come across in his life so far, or which he plans to in sometime in the near future. This will be presented obviously in the form of a 5 to 7 minute speech, and needless to say, we look forward to a well organized and a deep kind of speech, because it says it can be in any style. So I'm saying it's going to be a deep style of speech. Wishing you all the best, Deep, and I'm sure that you're going to entertain us for the next 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Babu sir. Toastmaster Deep, be a spoiled brat. Be a spoiled brat, Toastmaster Deep.
Am I on? Okay. Very good morning, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Do you remember the time when you were a small kid? In reminiscence, do you remember a time when everyone in your family craved for your attention? Do you remember that time that regardless of what you did, whether it was your first step on 2 feet or whether you was a blissful, joyful reaction to you? Do you remember the time when everyone lured you with different things, be it a trip to the railway station to watch the trains, and you got the best outcome out of each and very nice. But as they say, all things come of us grow up. And when we grow up, you have to be mature. You have to think logically and you have to negotiate. When we grow up, as Sigmund Freud says, is it a sad paradox that the elderly idiot is advising the young genius? I was shifting my house a couple of months ago from a studio room apartment in Villeparle to the current house that I am living in right now. And as they go with the shenanigans of shifting the house, you have to hunt for a movers and packers company and all the different things. My dad said, that is your department. I was overjoyed, but my excitement didn't live for very long. I realized that on the lane in Villeparle that I was living in, there was only one movers and packers person. I went to him. I explained the situation that I have to move a studio room apartment. There are 3 of us. We have a washing machine, a fridge, and a television. Apart from that, general clothes of all 3 people. It is not a big thing. And I was shocked. He said 15,000. He didn't even care to visit my place. He didn't even care what is the destination that I'm going to. He just blurted a number from the top of his head. And I said, that's not fair. You didn't even visit my place. You didn't even take into account what is the distance and the amount of cartoons that you will have to bring. You just blurted a number out. To which he very arrogantly replied, listen here, kid. I am in this business from 25 years. There is one reason why I am the only one in this entire street. In the next kilometer radius, you won't find anyone. If you want to get the job done, it's 15,000. The most fragile thing in the world is the male ego. And at that time, he had just poked my male ego. I wondered to myself, is this it? In a city like Mumbai, in the current digital day and age, can I not find another movers and packers guy that will at least talk to me nicely, let alone charge whatever he wants? And a thought came to my mind. It's not necessary that I get a movers and packers from Villeparle. I can get a movers and packers near Goregaon or anywhere around the road because they'll be more than happy to help me. So I went on Google and I started looking. And to my surprise, I found 65 different listings on the first page of Just Dial. I just put my number there and voila. In the next 4 hours, I got 65 missed calls. I tried connecting with each and every one of them. Some of them once again blurted out a number. Some of them sent me pictures of their vans and trucks that they are going to use in order to move. Some of them said, can we come to your place? What is a preferred time? And a few of them didn't even ask for permission. They arrived right at my doorstep before time. I was more than happy because I was being treated like a spoiled brat, like I was the youngest in the family once again. Needless to say, I started negotiating because I wanted the best outcome, even when I was a toddler, because I was the toddler, the spoiled brat that used to get chocolates, toys, and go to the station and watch trains all at the same time. And I wanted the same. So while negotiating, we came to a conclusion that because the amount of goods that we have at our house is less to fill an entire tempo, I would allow the movers and packers guy to fill another load with him as long as my luggage is safe. We negotiated that I will stay in the tempo just to make sure the luggage is okay. And I will arrange for the snacks and the tea and coffee for the workers. And we reached a price way below my expectations of 5,000 bucks. And I felt like a 4-year-old once again. Now, if you notice, what changed between me going to one person who had a monopolistic view of the market and I had no chance of negotiating whatsoever, to the point where I was a spoilt brat, spoilt for choices, and I got to pick even the best out of the tailor meetings. The first thing I can remember is I did my research. Anything you do in life, be it selling something or buying something, there are always more than one options available if you have the time to look. Second, while negotiating and while getting multiple offers, we got into the dialogue, as in what is it that the other person is ready to give up. I had to consider the fuel expenses, the labor expenses of the movers and packers, because my priority was getting the job done. My priority was not getting a profit or a loss out of the situation. So an effective negotiator is one where you can define the other party's comfort zone. What would he be comfortable in agreeing to? And then place the offer in his comfort zone closest to what will be the best for you. So with these two things in mind, I not only got the best deal as a movers and packers, I also got the pat on my back. And I became from a small spoiled brat to a bigger spoiled brat. So Toastmaster of the day, wouldn't you like to be a spoiled brat in your life? Over to you.
Absolutely. And I think I am one if you ask Toastmaster Pankaj and Toastmaster Babu about it. So thank you for sharing with us that perspective. Up next, we have we'll proceed with the table topic session. I'm aware that we need to have a polling for the speeches to figure out the best prepared speech, but we'll give it some time for the SAR to prepare the polls. But ahead of that, I would like to invite the table topic master, Toastmaster Engelbert. And when I asked him for 2 lines to introduce him as a speaker today, he shared some very interesting perspective about himself, being very looking for the positive side in things and enjoying every moment of life. Toastmaster Engelbert, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Greetings to our fellow Toastmasters and our dear guest. So today's meeting has filled us all with the reminiscence that make our purpose of being a part of Toastmasters even stronger. So we all are proud to be a part of this wonderful Toastmasters. Hearing the word 50 again and again, I think it gives that kind of that emotional touch also. Now coming to that purpose, now let's come to the purpose of a toast of a topic master is to introduce various topics and to encourage people to, or the speakers to speak so that they can improve in their impromptu speaking. You'll be given 2 minutes. Yeah, so we'll start with the topics. So anybody would like to volunteer? Because today's topic is very, very, filled with, okay, so I can see the first hand is Vishal Mehta, yeah, with the smiling face and with the calm posture. So in the same way, I think I would like to start with a quote, okay, and you need to give your thoughts over it. So your topic today is, there's a quote which says, the best way to predict your future is to create it. I repeat, the best way to predict your future is to create it.
Thank you, table topic master. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. The best way to predict your future is to create it. Absolutely. A lot of us sort of just take life for granted, and we just kind of just do things which come into our way rather than taking things in our control. I can give an example from my childhood wherein I was not really planning much in terms of studying. Whenever the examination used to come too close, I used to always say that, fine, let me just play first and then I will maybe study at a later time. And then it used to always invariably land me in a situation wherein I used to always had to put those log hours during the time of the exam, just before the examination date, and it should just put unnecessary pressure. I believe similar things happen to all of us in some point, be it in school, be it in corporate life, or sometimes even when it comes to our health. So yeah, I think in this sense, I always feel that it's always good to be proactive rather than reactive. With this, I pass it over to you, table topic master.
Thank you, Vishal. I think you brought in a lot of inspiration also in your speech, that too impromptu. Thank you once again. So I think the next person who is also equally inspired and motivated to give impromptu speech is the man with the tie and formals, is Mr. Ritik Sharma. So, Ritik, I would like to give you the next topic. Yeah. So the topic here is another quote which says, "Hope is the last thing ever lost." I repeat, hope is the last thing ever lost.
Thank you, table topic master. I always remember when I was a kid and I was studying in 8th standard. Our state board removed the board from that standard. So now at that time we didn't have the board in 8th standard, and I was so lucky to have that thing, because if there would have been a board examinations for that standard for the class, I would have failed. So from 6th to 7th class, I was hoping like the state board of Rajasthan will remove the board examination from that class. So that was my hope, to clear that class. But if sometimes hope is something which can make you feel there's more which you can't see, but that will happen. So be calm, be composed to something which will come in your path. The scenario which you can take in consideration is the war between Russia and Ukraine. The people of Ukraine are hoping they will be saved, but they aren't. They are saved by their own people. There is a hope for them. Someone will come to save them. So always keep a hope with you, because there will be someone for you and there will be some help for you. Over to you, table topic master.
Yes, Ritik, it was very nice. I think we all, the very purpose we are here today is for hope for not only more 50, but I think 500 and above. So the next one is, so now let's go to the guest. So can we have any volunteers from the guest who would like to go in for an impromptu? So I think I can see Arbas. So can we have you, Arbas? So I've randomly just, the name came in front of my screen, so I just said Arbas, so I don't. So if Arbas, can you unmute yourself, please? Or if you're having some trouble in your audio, so we can go to Sangram, Sangram Gaikwad.
Yeah, sure. We'll do that.
Yeah, so the again, you just have 2 minutes which you can speak, and the topic is one hobby you are hoping to start or restart in future. I repeat, one hobby you would like to start or restart in future.
Thank you. Well, the hobby which I would like to restart is something I would like to go back to read books. Uh, During my busy schedules, I'm getting very less time to read books. The books which I like is more about uh, people who inspired others, or maybe those who are those who have their own stories to share with others, and which will something which gives uh, truly a meaning to your life, and which help you to think about your future, or maybe it will guide you about what you want to do in future. So that is something I would like to go, if I have to start my hobby in future, is reading a book. Thank you.
Thank you. Being the first time, I think you did a really great job. Yeah, thank you, and we also wish you all the best for your hobby of reading. And I think so. This is one of the very basic thing which we all require as Toastmasters. Reading will definitely improve our vocabulary and our knowledge. So the next volunteer, can we have the next volunteer, or randomly I would pick up? Uh, Probably we could pick up somebody who's taking the roles, like we have the R counter, or the grammarian, or somebody we would like to take somebody. Usually we neglect the role, so I think, yeah. So I think probably can we take the R counter? Yeah. So Karthik, over to you. So the topic is, can you describe an ideal vacation? I repeat, can you describe an ideal vacation which you would like to have in future?
An ideal vacation, which I would like to have in future is to
Definitely.
just give time for myself and to enjoy what my passion is, to follow my hobbies, and to spend most of my time with my family, friends, traveling and all. Because in our such a hectic life, we don't give much of an importance to ourselves. Second, we don't give importance to our health. Third, we don't give importance to our family. So a perfect vacation is this mixture of all these three: family, health, and our time. So meditating, uh, having time with family, inculcating new hobbies, learning new things can be a good time spending in a vacation. Also, a good vacation can also be including a good vacation can include few few joining new communities, or we can my good vacation is like to join new communities and to get involved in something new, or which I was already always trying to get involved in, but because of time constraint I didn't involved. So yes, this will be my perfect vacation. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you. It was very nice. So the next person who volunteered was Vishal. So Vishal, your topic would be, if there would be one attitude you would like to bring change. Maybe it could be 1% change. I repeat, if there's one change you would like to bring in your attitude, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Engelbert. That's a very nice question. What is the one attitude that I would like to change in me? That is something that everybody has to introspect, and I have been introspecting on it throughout my adult life. That if I have to improve something, you don't really understand what is the attitude that is making you fall back in line, or things which are holding you back. Those kind of things you have to change. But certainly introspection is not the best strength I would say that anybody has. Introspection is very difficult. So when I started introspecting, the way I thought about looking at me is from an outside point of view, by the performance that I've been doing. Uh, and Fortunately, I can relate to it because I'm married. So introspection becomes very easy because your wife keeps on telling you, boss, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. So that could, that pointed me saying that why does my wife keep talking about so and so thing? So the one habit that we concluded, me and my wife concluded, is time management. Time management is something that if I improve, there could be a lot of good things which could come my way. My problem is that I take up a lot of things in my hand, but I get excited, joining Toastmasters, doing this thing, doing that thing. But as you all guys know that I'm not being very regular with Toastmasters. So that is one thing that I would like to change: time management. Over to you, Toastmaster, table topic Toastmaster and Engelbert. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Vishal. It made us also think and introspect for 2 minutes. We started introspecting. Thank you. So this is the last topic for this table topic. So if anybody would like to volunteer, okay. So we have, I think Joy is the first one who would raise his hand. So Joy, this topic, I think you can relate to yourself very much. So you need to fill, I am happy because. I repeat, I am happy because.
I am happy because I live in the present, is how I would go ahead and complete that sentence. There's a lot that we can actually learn from children. And if you have to go ahead and talk about happiness per se, the who is happy the most is what I would say is children. And why are they happy again? It's because they have no stress. They're not worried about the future. They just know how to live in the present. And if we can go ahead and learn that from children, I think we can all be happy. They say adulthood or growing up is actually a trap. And that's what we get ourselves into. So time and again, if we have that little child inside of us, it's very important to keep that child alive and just doing things for the sake of doing it, doing things not because people are going to judge you and people are going to go ahead and have something to say about it. Don't worry about it. Don't care about any of those things. Just do it because it kind of makes you happy and it kind of makes you come alive. And that is what I would feel is how we can all go ahead and stay happy. We've all been through that phase, so it's never too late to go ahead and remember our childhood memories and go ahead and relive them one more time. Okay, so that's the answer as I see it. Toastmaster Engelbert, back to you.
Thank you, Joy. When you said the word relive happiness, I think right from 11 a.m. we have been reliving right from the day one of the planning stage of Speakers Club till date. So yeah, so I think with a very nice note, we'd like to end this table topic session, and over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Engelbert, for those very nice table topics that blended so well with the theme today. It is said, anything worth having doesn't come easy in life. The biggest example of this quote was my first president-elect experience that came after many, many pre-charter meetings. The moment the charter kit arrived at home, my happiness knew no bounds. It was not only a testimony to all my learnings at Toastmaster International, but it also helped renewing my confidence. Reminiscing today, all that went into forming the iconic Mumbai speakers, I remember a question asked by a prospective member. Manisha, why should I join this club when there are so many? Why Mumbai speakers? The only answer I had then was attend one meeting each with every club that you have in mind, and then take an informed decision for yourself. With one meeting she attended of Mumbai speakers, she texted me immediately back. Please share the joining formalities. An important lesson learned. Meeting quality is paramount. And this is one thing I will take back to each of the clubs that I wish to be a part of. With that said, I'd like to now invite the general evaluator for the general evaluation segment. Toastmaster Babu, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day once again. And let me get on with my customary role. I can see that smile on Sudha's face. She says, yes, it's all plastered right across your face, that you're the general evaluator. And so it will be this afternoon. So let me get on with the role by first calling upon the speech evaluators who will be evaluating the two prepared speeches today. First up would be Toastmaster Raghav Gautam, who will evaluate the wonderful speech delivered by Toastmaster Mehak. Over to you, Toastmaster Raghav.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Toastmaster Mehak delivered a great speech today, making us realize why we should not take nature for granted. It was a great content structure, starting with the Planet Eater, depicting the story of a boy and a tree. The well-organized chronology of events at different ages of the boy brought a lot of clarity to the key message that why are we getting greedy and exploiting nature, whereas we are actually meant to coexist. Then Toastmaster Mehak went back to why it all started giving the example of industrial revolution, and brought tangibility to her entire speech by showing that dirty river picture near Borivali. Overall, it was an impeccable presentation, great audience engagement. So there is no suggestion on that front. So now coming to the key objective of your speech today. So the objective was that you should apply the feedback that you received last time. And the feedback last time was that you should finish the speech on time. And even today also, I see that maybe some barely you may have just, I don't know yet, the timer score is yet to come, whether you have done it or not. But what I want to do is that how I do. I have learned a few things being in Toastmasters this while. So I attended one session in Toastmaster conducted by Toastmaster Sai. So he said that in a prepared speech round, when the maximum time is like 7 minutes, 30 seconds, the number of words you should speak, you should prepare for your content should not exceed 750. It should never exceed 800. So again, the speaking rate is different for every speaker. Once you write your content, what I personally do is that I try to redo the sentences. I try to contain in that number of words limit. Then I practice and time it. How much time it is actually taking me. Then again, practice and practice and practice. Now next time, when you actually do it, when you have too much content, on the D-Day, what happens that you tend to miss out a thing or two while actually because of the pressure, because of so many things going around in your mind. So it should not be the case that you have written less content and you actually like deliver for an even lesser time. So you should like practice and practice. And after that, for the conclusion part, I personally, what I do is whenever I see the red card going, I mentally prepare myself to end it. Sometimes the conclusion itself is so long. But in that case, I think what should be done is that, okay, for concluding, whenever I see the red card, these 2 lines I would speak and I will just close it. Maybe if you have time, then you can do it. But these 2 lines I must say, because conclusion is one of the most important thing that delivers that impact. So that you have to figure out. So I think these are some few suggestions that you can do. And overall, it was a great space, great learning from me also, and it was an awesome structure. Yeah, over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghav, for an exhaustive evaluation of our speaker today. And now let me call upon yours truly to deliver the evaluation of our second speaker, Toastmaster Deep Shah. Toastmaster Deep, what a wonderful speech that was. The most important thing that I always have liked about your projects or your speeches are the speech titles. And sure enough, the title Spoilt Brat made me sit up and wonder, what is this spoilt brat going to negotiate in this project? And you started off with those wonderful questions which would have woken up perhaps some members in the audience who must have gotten up quite late and still having sleep in their eyes. A very good way always of starting a speech. And you showed us what a spoiled brat you were in your childhood when you were showered with toys and chocolates and you always got the best out of everything. And how this aspect literally flowed into your system when you described that personal example of a situation where you had to negotiate with the packers and movers when you were moving house. And when you realized that he was almost in a monopolistic situation, how it punctured your male ego, how that spoiled brat literally was shaken up a little bit. But the most important thing I always like and I liked about this speech as well is that whatever be the kind of speech, you always try to leave behind for the audience a few messages. And you had a couple of learnings here in your successful negotiation techniques that you had finally in moving house, where you said that if you really want to succeed, you need to do your research and also Effective negotiation is to try and understand the other person's comfort zone, which I could translate as empathy to some extent, if I'm not mistaken. In the process, you had some wonderful words which you always have. The ones that I could pick out were shenanigans, voila, and a phrase which I really liked and I'm going to use it somewhere is that the most fragile thing in the world is the male ego. That was really something to take home. You were clear and articulate as usual. I think there is no fault finding on that at any time. But if I were to really say a couple of things, I thought you turned out to be as one of a very benevolent negotiator. I would have expected you to be a hard-nosed one who was driving a bargain with that very first fellow who said, hey, listen, I will not drop my price. And I think that is where real negotiation skills come to the fore. So perhaps you could have continued with that. I mean, even if you had to fake a little bit, so what? You could have driven a hard bargain and come up trumps. So that could have been one. And the other thing was perhaps a little more dialogues and the characters, perhaps with some of those negotiators or those people involved, would have really taken the speech to a different level. But I think overall, you were always up to it. Wonderful speech. Look forward to the next. Over to me. Okay. Right. So now that we are done with the two speech evaluations, let us get on with the next segment, the second segment of the general evaluation, which would be the three reports. So I would first call upon the timer to tell us about the evaluation and also about the other speeches. So over to Urmila for her report on the timings for today.
Thank you, General Evaluator. The key is in not spending time, but in investing it. Let me share time report for prepared speeches. So Toastmaster Mehak took 8 minutes 40 seconds. Toastmaster Deep took 7 minutes 8 seconds. Mehak, time was not in your favor again. Sorry for that. The timer report for table topic speeches. Toastmaster Vishal Mehta took 1 minute 10 seconds. Toastmaster Ritik, Toastmaster Karthik, and Toastmaster Joy took 1 minute 20 seconds. Toastmaster Vishal Shah took 1 minute 50 seconds, and guest Sangram took 40 seconds. Guest Sangram is disqualified from table topic awards. Evaluation, Toastmaster Raghav took 3 minutes 15 seconds, and General Evaluator Babu took 3 minutes 30 seconds. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Urmila. And if we are going ahead with the polling, then we could do that while I get on with my role. In inviting the next member of the tag team, which would be the R counter, and I now call upon Toastmaster Karthik to present the R counters report. Over to you, Karthik.
Thank you, Toastmaster Babu sir. I would like to share my screen. Yeah. Is my screen visible to all? Yes.
Yes.
So Toastmaster Manisha used five plus words of 2 words of 2 words of ER. Whereas Toastmaster Urmila didn't use any such words. Toastmaster Sudha used 4 words. Toastmaster Mehak used 5 plus words, 1 words, 1 word. Toastmaster Joy used 1 word. Toastmaster Deep didn't use any of this word. Toastmaster Engelbert used 4 words, 2 words, and 5 plus so words. Toastmaster Babu used 5 plus words. Toastmaster Raghav used 5 plus words and repeated words many times, word. So Toastmaster Vishal Mehta used 5 plus words. Toastmaster Aaron used 5 plus words, 2 words and 3 words. And he also repeatedly used words. Toastmaster Ritik used 2 words. Guest Sangram used 5 plus words. And Toastmaster Vishal used 4 words.
Thank
You,
you,
Toastmaster.
Toastmaster Karthik, for that beautiful presentation. I quite liked the screen sharing, and looks like from the report, today's benchmark is 5+ hours, of which I am also a major contributor. So thank you so much for that nice report. And now we go on to our grammarian of today, who spoke of the conscience of the English language. So let us hear from grammarian Toastmaster Sudha. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, General Evaluator. So yes, today we had some very good usages and not so very good usage of the English language. So I'll probably start with the not so good English usage, which is starting from, we had someone say, removed the board from that standard. So that is probably can be corrected to say, the board was not existent for that standard or that grade. Yeah. Or you can say the board exams were eliminated from that year. That could have been a better usage. Always keep hope with you. Probably be hopeful would be a better usage. The other one is which will come in your path. I mean, he was using something to do with a verb, which will come in your path. That was not really sounding right. Maybe that could have changed. And I should always had to. It didn't sound right again. It should probably be I would always do, or I always do. I should always have to. There are too many confusions in the words in between, prepositions and stuff. Yeah. So the very good usages of, I mean, we had Manisha, Engelbert, Babu, Deep using the word of the day many times, some of them even 3 times. And the good usages of words today was, or rather very good phrases used in the speeches was, there is no earth or us. It was a very strong statement, which drills a very serious message. Elderly idiot advising the young. So that was another one which drove the message bang on. Voila. After a long time, I heard it. Treated like a spoiled brat. Of course, it sounds absolutely pompous and pampering. Negotiating is one, knowing what the other person's comfort zone is. I think that was a very good idea to look at it from that point of view before you start negotiating. What is the comfort zone of the opposite person? It was a very good usage. Fragile thing in the world, the most fragile thing in the world is the male ego, driven very hard and strong inside. The good usages was impeccable, empathy, benevolent negotiator, hard-nosed bargainer. Pretty good usage of words here, and I would have encouraged everyone to use the word reminiscence a little bit more. But nevertheless, great meeting with great usages. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sudha, for another wonderful and exhaustive grammarian's report. Let us now move on. And did I miss any role player? No. Okay. So now it's on to the third segment of the General Evaluator's report, and that would be my own report. Yes, today's meeting has definitely been very, very special. A meeting full of reminiscences, if I may use that word once again, full of memories, full of nostalgia, and of course, as the theme says, full of hope for far better things ahead. In fact, a wonderful theme for a golden milestone meeting. But before I speak anything about the Toastmaster, let me start from the beginning and start where it started at 11 o'clock on the dot, which of course, now that we are a 50-year-old or a 50-week-old professional club, it's now in our genes to start the sessions on time. So very well done on that score. And as usual, our Sergeant at Arms always comes and delivers all the protocols for the meeting, which Toastmaster Vishal did very well this afternoon. And then, of course, the very familiar face of Toastmaster Sudha with her presiding officer's address. And what could have been more appropriate than a talk about memories, yes, for this meeting. So it was on the dot. She really kindled all the right notes or struck the right notes for the session to go ahead. And then we had the Toastmaster of the day. What do I say about Manisha? It's always such a pleasure to have her in any role that she performs. And of course, today being such an important meeting, when we all put our heads together, I think the one person whose name came up front was Toastmaster Manisha. And I think she definitely, I should not say, did not disappoint, but she did a fantastic job. So let us all put our hands together for Toastmaster of the Day, Manisha. And then we had our two wonderful speakers for this morning, Toastmaster Mehak and Toastmaster Deep. Both speeches with a lot of food for thought. Ithar, I thought she was going to take us for the 7 minutes to a faraway planet and make me feel lost for 7 minutes. But yes, she brought me rudely back down to earth with that photograph and to tell us that, yes, there are a lot of things to do here before we migrate to some other planet. To echo some of our speech evaluators' thoughts, yes, wonderful speech, all right, but perhaps you could have done a little better on the speech ending. So you might wish to relook at that for your future speeches. The second speech by Toastmaster Deep, well, what do I say? I've already said enough, and I don't think he wants to hear anything more. But yes, it was really brilliantly done, and I would leave a super evaluation of my evaluation to someone else here to talk about what he could have done better and what he has done best. And then, of course, the table topics master, Toastmaster Engelbert. I think he was. Were you doing this for the first time, Engelbert?
Yes, for the first time.
You were. Okay, great. It's a job, very well done. I think you really had all the topics comfortable enough for all the speakers to deliver. And I think all of them did a great job. So let us put our hands together for the table topics master as well. Great job. Okay. Is there anything else that we need to speak about today's meeting? Just give me a second.
Meanwhile, we can take another table topic if anyone is interested.
I'm back.
Volunteers?
I'm back.
Oh,
yeah.
back to your general evaluator.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Some of the wonderful things that I really liked about the session today is Toastmaster Manisha, of course, calling on the old-time members, which included myself and Toastmaster Aaron. But perhaps I would have also liked to hear from some of our charter members. I don't know whether I ate into their time, but maybe, okay, we still have some time at the end. after my evaluation. So maybe we could still hear from some of them as to what their experiences were when they started out. And we also have some of our charter members here. I can see Chetan Sheth, and is there anyone else? So perhaps we could even hear from them as to what they have gone through and all their reminiscence about Mumbai speakers. As far as the session itself is concerned, I don't think there is much really to talk about. I think we sort of started on time, and perhaps we are ending on time, maybe even before time. So we might just have been able to squeeze in a few more table topics as well, if we could have. I think our time is 1 o'clock, 11 to 1. So we might just think about that. The only thing that I would like to say as a general evaluator, I might digress a little bit, is that we've had a lot of fun and learning over the past 1 year. And I think it is time for us now to take stock of the situation after 50 sessions and to sit back and think of all the things that we have done well, things that we could improve upon, and how we can take it forward from here. But I can see that new spark has come back. We've got the new XCOM in the saddle. They really driving the club on, I would say, fifth gear at the moment. And I just hope that we go forward with all the same kind of drive and enthusiasm that we've had so far. And of course, through my general evaluation, I would also like to make a small appeal to all those charter members who have been with us and whom we do not see very much these days, to have a sort of homecoming and rejoin Mumbai speakers, so that we all become a much more formidable force in the fraternity of Toastmasters here. So I think I don't have much to comment on what could be, but I must say that we've had a wonderful meeting today. And to all the role players, right from the Sergeant at Arms to the tag team, speakers, speech evaluators, the table topics master, and of course, the anchor for the day. Let us all put our hands together and give them a huge, huge round of applause for that wonderful meeting that was conducted today. So with that, I will hand over the reins back to the Toastmaster of the day to take us for the rest of the session. Over to you, Manisha.
Thank you, Toastmaster Babu. Before I close out on my TMoD segment for today, I wanted to recite a little small something that I wrote under the pen name Mystic Mona, and you can find the same on the Terribly Tiny Tales app. This is something I wrote on everything that I did in 2021 and how I'm looking to welcome 2022, and it only fits the bill to be read out here. The sprint goes on to 2022. Something's old and something's new. Life goes on, and we should too. When this year started, it started with the promise of 365. 365 days, 365 chances, and 365 possibilities. Some chances we took and some promises we honored. I can't say I'm wiser this year. I'm just a year seasoned. The journey I'm on now has a pit stop called 2021 that reads as completed. It feels a necessary evil to shut a few doors, shirk a few thoughts, and move ahead to the next set of 365. It won't be the same because it's meant to be different. The anticipation reeks of fear, but chaos has always romanced calm. Uncertainty will be burdensome, but the weight must be felt to appreciate strength. With some things old and some things new, the sprint goes on to 2022. With that, I hand it over to the presiding officer for today's meeting. Toastmaster Sudha, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Manisha Mishra, for such a personal closing, which means a lot. And I'm sure MSTC figures in one of those lines. I don't know which, where, and how you have, kind of connected it, but I could read it somewhere, especially because you were out of sight for almost 6 months. So that's the change which probably you wanted to see in yourself and the things that you had taken up. So lovely to have you here, Manisha. Thanks for accepting the offer and connecting to us on the 50th meeting and sharing those lovely thoughts, and also the thoughts on how you started with Aaron talking, the connections there, Babu sir, of course. And one person who's missing is, of course, Pankaj. He wanted to come, and I had actually told him to pen down some thoughts and share with me. But it became, I think he thought it should be a message for why Toastmasters. But that shows how passionate he is about this podium, this institution. He says, improving upon your public speaking or leadership skills is a slow process, much like becoming wealthy through a disciplined investment. You will see some benefits of Toastmasters within a few weeks of joining, some benefits only after you have stayed in the system for a longer time. The principle of compounding actually applies here too. We get much more than what we ask for if we learn to keep looking. To those who are new to Toastmasters, take the long road. Keep the faith. The journey is beautiful. To those from whom I have learned a lot in the last few years, thank you so much for your generosity. So those are words from Pankaj, who couldn't join us today, but sending a very thoughtful message for the people who are already in Toastmasters, who are new to Toastmasters and expecting a lot from this journey. That's the message for you. Now, before I get on to the closing, there are a few confirmations I want to do. Have we got the timers report for the prepared speeches?
Yes, we got all the timers reports.
Okay, so that's fine. And polling is done, or you can probably do the polling as I'm calling up on the guests. Yeah. Okay, so today's meeting, our MSTC meeting cannot be completed without getting some thoughts and words from very key members of our club. And it's my pleasure to call upon our ex-president, our immediate past president, Glenn Smith, to share a few words about your journey.
Hey, thanks, Toastmaster Sudha. Just hope if it's okay if I can't turn the camera on today. Just a little bit of outside. So, I think the journey has been fantastic. Overall, I think a lot of us, whenever we talk about Mumbai speakers, we consider today as the 50th meeting. But I'd also like to mention that I think it's not just a 50th meeting, because when I started off, I remember that I looked up the internet and I was searching for a Toastmasters club. I don't remember the gentleman's name, but he told me the nearest club was in Bandra. And I said, well, that's too far for me. And that's when he said that they're working on chartering another club in Borivali, but he said that would be like 6 months down the line. And I said, well, that's okay. I'm not in a hurry. You can put me on to the people. And that's when he connected me with Babu, and that's when I started this journey. So I think that was way back in September or October. I think the pre-charted journey, and I think Babu can correct me if I'm wrong, but that itself went for around 3 months, right? Before we were actually established as a club. So I think that journey was really special, because over there I learned not just about being a Toastmaster, but then a lot of things about running a club, founding a club, and so on. So that was really special. And then once we established, then it was again another challenge of finding new members and so on. Moving down the line, I see today that we are an established club, of course, thanks to your efforts, thanks to Toastmaster team, and the Expo members, of course, who have made that so possible today. So I think the entire journey, right from when we started off to being that fun-loving type of a club, moving on to a more established Toastmaster club has been absolutely wonderful. Thank you, and all the best to Mumbai speakers. And yeah, like Engelbert said a little earlier, I'm sure it won't be too far before we are having the 500 meeting.
Yay, that's right. Thank you so much, Glenn, for those kind words and memory lane, down memory lane. So now I would like to call upon our joy of the club to share some few words. He's becoming almost like, what is it, Swami Joy, with his pearls of wisdom every time he takes the stage. I'm waiting to hear you, Joy.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sudha. Firstly, nice to see you back on this platform, Manisha. We've actually been missing you. Yeah, I wasn't looking to join this Toastmasters club per se. I just happened to get an invite from Sangeeta, and from there is how this entire journey started. We came together during a crisis, which is the pandemic. So it was always nice to have a small little community that we could turn to, right? And we weren't really picked for our skills, okay? So while Babu and Aaron and Pankaj did a great job, we were actually a bunch of misfits coming together who really didn't know what is Toastmasters all about. And that was the beauty of it, because, we had a Rishikesh Telang who would join simply to ogle at Manisha and Misha. And he would openly just go ahead and say, there was this one day I remember Manisha said, I've got bad bandwidth today. I can't turn on the camera. And he was like, how will I see your pretty face if you don't turn on the camera? And so plenty of others. Glenn Smith, my first impression of Glenn Smith was probably this is the format of Toastmasters. You're supposed to have, possibly an American-born confused Desi in Toastmasters. So I thought he was an American, given his accent and given the name. I mean, who has a name like Glenn Smith, right? And to add to that effect, he had a dog in the background. So all of that, just catapulted the fact that ye Desi nahi ho sakta. And then we realized ye to Vasai ka chokra hai. So that, and then we had an advocate, Siddharth.
Yeah.
Somebody asked him to sing one fine day, and from that day he used to carry his karaoke machine everywhere, like just waiting to go ahead and sing. So Akshay Jain, he was not a part of the club, but he was like Pankaj's 1+, yeah, and he was a fallback guy. So, and he would do, ask him anything to do, and he would go out and do it with such ease. He would just go ahead and get comfortable with any role. So this was fun, So the fun was, it used to just happen in the moment. It was never planned per se. And the club was so small that sometimes it used to be just the XCOM members and just the role players. So we're kind of doing it for each other, but it was still so much fun. Yeah, so looking back, we can just laugh and just reminisce over those memories. And I'm sure, Manisha, you'll probably not go ahead and remember a whole lot of faces from those days. But yeah, I mean, this club is still alive. And I think we are raring to go. I think we can only get bigger and stronger from here on. That's from me. Thank you so much. Back to you, Toastmaster Sudha.
Thank you so much, Joy. Actually, you talked about Rishikesh and I just remembered him and his accent. His accent was perfect, actually. Yeah, I mean, he couldn't join. I think he's in the US right now, I remember, yeah. So even me, I mean, when I used to come for the meetings, it was absolutely out of the box kind of a meeting. I used to tell Babu, is this a Toastmaster meeting or like it's just a coffee date together with some people on Zoom? Because I've witnessed quiz, I've witnessed songs, I've witnessed a treasure hunt, or you did a karaoke session or something. I remember 3-4.
We did a Bollywood evening.
Bollywood was amazing.
Yeah, so I used to like it because the erstwhile my home club was BTM. I mean, I don't want to say too much. It was the other extreme of the scale in terms of boredom and excitement. So this was like something where I used to look forward to. So when Babu sir used to give me a evaluator's role or a GE role, I used to say, okay, you know, what is it
Ready.
going to be? But I used to always end up having fun. So that was the Mumbai Speakers old founder members club, as they call it. And I would like to now go on to inviting Sarika to say a few words. Sarika?
Hi, hi, Sudha.
Hello.
And it is such a pleasure to see Manisha. I still see her status and her few, and she writes so beautifully. I really, look up to her, especially for her writing, for a meeting. Manisha, I still remember your story when you met Ratan Tata, and in your one of your speech, you mentioned that, and I have it so clear in my mind. So it is really good. I remember Joy's Bollywood theme where we had to enact, and I still remember Ek Chutki Sindoor Ki Keemat, and you know, we had done an enact. Oh God, it was so much fun. So yeah, so Mumbai Speakers Club, especially, you know, when how I got into Mumbai Speakers is again, my kid was having his communication skill, and his teacher told that, you know, you all should start joining Toastmasters and few other clubs. And Toastmaster, I always knew about Toastmaster, but it was always a long lost, you know, a hobby that I always wanted to pursue. And then when I Googled, I found Babu sir. And the moment you speak to Babu sir, it's like a long, detailed talk where he'll tell you every detail and every minute thing. And I was like, yes, here it is. And I have to go for it. And the Google also showed the right person. So, you know, I always believe when you really want to do something, you connect with the right person immediately. And that is how I came into Mumbai Speakers Club. And the best part about, you know, joining a new club is you are really so involved, and, you know, you get a chance to speak almost in every meeting. So which I think it's a most positive thing. And, you know, you can see your growth, your transition. I still remember my first table topic, you know, and I was as a guest, my first meeting, and the topic was given money. And I only remember that I spoke the word money for at least 13 times. So I just couldn't, in 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, 1.5 minutes, I was only money, money, money. So, you know, to gathering that thoughts and now coming to a stage where I participated in the table topic contest and all. So it was really, it's an amazing journey. And I really truly enjoyed. I miss those fun meetings, you know, that Joy and all used to conduct. I remember we used to play games. I had conducted a game where, you know, everybody had to balance a book and all. So yeah, so at times it was fun. I mean, you know, fun meetings are always a boost to looking forward to, you know, such meetings. So yeah, it was good. And I really look forward 550 turning to 500, as someone mentioned. Definitely. I really want to always be part of it, and of course, improve my public speaking skills also. So yeah, over to you, Sudha. And Manisha, please keep coming in. It's such a pleasure to see you, your smiling face.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sarika.
She's just joined back Toastmasters, so I'm definitely going to catch her now for a few things. Manisha. Okay. Next, I would like to call upon, we have our area director, Pooja, there with us. Pooja, we would, if that's okay with you, can you be with us for some more time till we go around with the guest speakers? Yeah.
Sure, definitely. I'm here, Sudha.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pooja. Welcome. I would like to now call upon our Mr. Reliable, the person who is always there to help out when MSTC is in any kind of help or need, is our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Walter. Toastmaster Walter, can you share some few thoughts about your journey? Toastmaster Walter? Has he left?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Walter.
Yeah, sorry, I'm actually traveling. So, yeah, hi everyone, and nice to see you on this CS Golden Jubilee meeting. So it's a like achievement we never thought of when we started.
It's a
We
bad
are
connection.
looking at this as a 50th meeting, and so many new joiners, and the overall the way people are engaged and all. I think we have to achieve a lot more things, and we go ahead actually. Second thing about my story, see, when I started, I was very reluctant, and Babu sir, Pankaj called me up for taking up the role, and I took up the star role because Pankaj convinced me, like, Walter, since you are very reserved on talking and all, the star is a role where you will get always opportunity to talk, and then you start with the script, and slowly you can add a couple of lines, and that's how I started, and I think that helped me really to become whatever I am today. So I have not actually the way I have to actively involve and all, not much I have involved because of the whatever my not taking much initiative, as well as the my workload and all. But whatever I am able to do this because of the star role, and I think the star role is very crucial for a new starter, because you can at least have an opportunity to start your meeting, have some ready script, and gradually you can add a couple of lines, and then you will prepare yourself for maybe a table topic and maybe your first speech and all. So that's what I have that's what is really helped me out to shape up my journey so far, whatever it is. And see, so far we haven't met in physical meeting, in real meeting, but the way we have interacted, we never thought like we have never met. We know each
Absolutely.
other so much. So whenever if you meet in real world also, we feel we know each other. So that's how the emotionally we are connected. So I think we will go long way in our life with this Toastmasters.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank you.
so
Thank you. And
much.
over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Walter, for this kind words. And we have a guest speaker, actually the yesteryear member of our club, whom I would like to invite, who is Toastmaster or ex-Toastmaster, Chetan Seth. Hi, Chetan.
Hey, hi Sudha. Good afternoon, and pleasure to
Good
see you all
afternoon.
after a very long
I
time.
know.
So, yeah, so it's been a very long time, almost a year since we last spoke, and then connecting is always a pleasure thing. So the experience of of starting a club was interesting. So it was the most difficult of times we had faced, and when we came around, there were a lot of challenges. So while I was unable to contribute in a measured way, but then being a part of the group was exciting and interesting. Loving to see you all soon.
Yes, Chetan, thank you so much for joining us for this meeting, and hope to see you again back as a guest and be a part of this journey. It'll be lovely to have you here. And I would now like to go across to our ex-member, ex-Toastmaster Aditya. Aditya here.
Yeah,
Aditya?
hi. Hi,
Hi.
hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you are, but you're not visible.
Oh, yeah, I am. Just give me a. Okay. So, yeah, my unfortunately journey in Toastmasters was short-lived, but then it started with one of my colleagues in Morningstar who goes by the name Avantika Sood. Babu sir might know her very well
Oh,
from
yeah,
Bombay
we know
Toastmasters.
Avantika. Yes, yes.
Yes, yes, we all know.
Yeah, so in one of the meetings, I met her, and we were working for the department level newsletter, where then she submitted her draft, and I was just blown away reading that. And I asked her, where did she learn all this? That's when I realized there was something called Toastmasters. And I Googled Toastmasters, and I even called someone, maybe it was Mumbai Toastmasters, and from there I got to know about Toastmasters and all and everything, and about there's a new club coming in. And then in the evening, Babu sir gave me a WhatsApp message, and that got and then got we got into talking, which surprisingly took around 45 minutes, where I got to know everything, every detail of it. That this is a charter, a new club, new charter, and you can be a chance to get to be a founder member for this club, and it will also be cheaper comparatively. So that's how I joined the club.
Yeah, that's great. And you have disappeared also suddenly. Looking forward to seeing you again, Aditya. Thanks for joining in and sharing your thoughts on today's meeting. Thank you. And now I would like to put our hands together to welcome our area director, Pooja, who
Guest
has
Arbaz
been...
is also there. Arbaz has also joined us as a guest.
Yes, yes, I would go to Arbaz. Arbaz, would you like to share some thoughts about attending today's meeting?
Yeah, actually, it was a pleasure to wait. Yes, actually, it was a pleasure to join today with such a great personalities. It gave me a food for thought to improve upon my English language. Actually, I'm not that much fluent in English, so I'm really looking forward to improve upon my spoken English by getting work, by involving with such great personalities, and gaining experience from this Toastmaster club.
Sure. Thank you. And yeah, please join us for future meetings and, take a call as to whether you want to be a part of this journey permanently. Thank you so much to be a part of this meeting, Arbaz. Thank you.
Yes.
Now I would finally put our hands together to call upon our area director, Pooja Dhaya, to share some thoughts, as she has been a part of the meeting for some time now. Pooja?
Sure. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sudha, for inviting me here. Excuse me for not being able to putting the video on due to some reasons. But it's always been pleasure being a part of this meeting when it's MSc. I should say it's fun with learning. It's a bright sunny morning. So when you think about Sunday and Mumbai speakers, I would say it's a great start of the day. That is what is in my mind whenever I come to this meeting. So it's always fun, pleasure. As Toastmaster Sudha mentioned, there is nothing at all which is boring here. There is no boredom at all. Each and every minute is something that you learn, you laugh, you have fun, and you cherish the memories. So I'm quite surprised, and I'm definitely thankful to Toastmaster Sudha for having me here. I got to know a lot of memories that you guys created and are cherishing today as well. It actually got me back to my old days when I started my journey with JPMC Powai. So it was kind of nostalgia. And I remembered those in-person meetings, listening to your memories, and it got me my memories back. So it's always fun being here. And I see the passion which each and every member in this club has. It actually takes the overall vibe to another level. So that is something that I love about this club, which is quite unique, which we don't get to see everywhere. So the passion that you guys have, I would say kudos to you and keep that up going. It's a 50th meeting and it's almost a year to the club. And I definitely congratulate each one of you for being here, growing each and every day as an individual, as a group as well. And I definitely wish to be a part of many such milestone meetings. So congratulations once again and good luck for the further milestones.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pooja, for those kind words. And thank you for joining us for this milestone meeting and giving your thoughts as well. We want you to join us for more, and not only for milestones, even regularly. Please pop in. We definitely have something exciting every meeting. Yeah,
definitely.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Pooja. We also have some yesteryear members who have been doing role playing today, which is Engelbert. Engelbert.
Hi.
So now, apart from your table topics master role, I want to hear about your journey with Mumbai speakers.
It is actually very, very interesting. It was like obviously in the internet, in IT world, we always have gateway, internet gateway where the data passes in through our systems. So Babu sir is like that gateway, where everybody first meets him, and he's the one who, he's like actually a magnet, where he brings in everybody with his magnetic words. And I think so. I was surprised to hear somebody say 45 minutes. I think this is the lowest time I think he spent with somebody. So, and I'm so blessed that he's my mentor also, so yeah. So though I may go with one doubt, but he'll clear even my future proactively. He'll clear my all my doubts. So that's a very nice thing to have. And apart from that, each and every member has contributed, including you, Sudha. And also we have Deep, with his deep knowledge, with his deep skill, and also the way, if he comes to know, okay, if there's any member who's not attending, oftenly, so it's either Sudha ma'am's message, or you'll have Deep, giving a little bit motivation or inspiring you to, help out. So I thank both of you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Engelbert. And I can see that you're coming back more often. You're taking up roles and speeches, and now table topics master as well. So I think you are now not yesteryear member. You are a core part of the future. Thank you so much, Engelbert. We are missing some people like Lancelot. I did invite Richa and Suhasi, Hitesh, and few other people. So with that, I want to thank everyone who came here to keep up the theme of today's meeting and also share the thoughts for Mumbai Speakers Toastmasters Club. Hope we have many more milestones, 100, 150, 200, and even 500. I think the other thing which I want to say, that maybe it's not just Mumbai speakers. Let each one of us create clubs for ourselves. So in that sense, we ourselves will be those multiplying factors, and then 500 clubs created by Mumbai speakers. So kudos to that, and congratulations, and thank you once again. Do we have the awards now in announce? Yes, I think we still have some to go, is it?
No.
Yeah, Deep has a couple of announcements. Deep, would you like to take the stage?
Yes, thank you so much, Sudha. And once again, a very good afternoon to one and all present here. Just two announcements going forward. The first of which, we are still in the renewal cycle. So for those of you who are existing members, request you to pay your next 6 months renewal cycle. In order, if you have any other concerns, queries, feel free to get in touch with Toastmaster Joy, who's our treasurer, Toastmaster Raghav, he's our VP membership, or myself. I will paste 3 of our numbers on the chat shortly. And the second announcement that I have to make is, coming next week, we have our area contest, in which we will be supporting our 2 veteran Toastmasters, that is yours truly and Toastmaster Sudha, in their quest at the area. So I encourage all of you to keep your eyes on the WhatsApp. I will share the invites very soon. Please attend the area contest and support our clubs and help us to go to the next level. And in light of that, we will not have the meeting next week, because we will give time to our contestants to prepare, as well as we don't want a clash of conflict of interest, as in whether to attend club or area. So that were the 2 announcements that I wanted to make. Back to you, Toastmaster Sudha.
Thank you so much. Deep, can I have the awards, please? Okay. So we start with the best prepared speaker of today's meeting being, yes, Deep. A spoiled brat that you are. Toastmaster Deep, congratulations. I really like your topics here. It's really nice. I think people go for a different ride. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Toastmaster Deep. Now we go on to the next award, which is the best table topic speaker. And the award goes to Toastmasters Joy. Congratulations, Toastmaster Joy. The next award is the best evaluator. And the award goes to Raghav. Now the best of best auxiliary player. And the award goes to Thank you so much. And the last award, which is the best of big three, and the award goes to Toastmaster Manisha.
Thank you.
Thanks, Manisha. Thanks once again, everyone. With this, if there is any questions, anything to be asked, otherwise we could call the meeting closed. Yeah.